Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Canada Immigration. We hope you're doing great. In this video, we will talk about 3 new express entry draws this week sent 1,933 PR invitations. In a rapidly evolving landscape of Canadian immigration, recent updates highlight significant changes and shifts that are shaping the nation's policies and pathways for permanent residency. From the 3rd express entry draw of November to adjustments in work permits for international students, Canada is making strategic moves to address labor shortages and streamline immigration processes. Additionally, concerns around the rise of asylum claims from international students underscore the challenges facing the Canadian immigration system. As we dive into the latest developments, it's clear that Canada's immigration approach is adapting to both current needs and future opportunities. If you are interested in this topic, to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So, without any further delay, let's jump into the video. The Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada has just conducted the 3rd express entry draw of November, sending out 800 invitations to apply for permanent residency. This draws targeted profiles with level 7 in proficiency in the French language and a comprehensive ranking system score of 478 or above. Previously on November 13, IRCC sent out only 400 ETAs for Canadian Experience Class candidates with a CRS score of 547 or above. The comprehensive ranking system cutoff score increased by 8 points as compared to the previous SEC draw on October 22. Also on November 12, 733 invitations were sent targeting candidates from all express entry categories, having a provincial nomination from one of the Canadian provinces and a comprehensive ranking system score of 812 or above. The CRS cutoff score jumped up by 21 points as compared to the previous PNP-only round of invitations on October 21, 2024. CRS score distribution in the pool, November 12. Canadian Immigration in Canada Focus. The Immigration Levels Plan 2025 to 2027 reflects Canada's evolving immigration priorities with an increased in Canada focus. This approach emphasizes pathways and policies that favor candidates already in Canada, particularly temporary residents who are seeking to transition to permanent residency. The focus is part of a broader immigration strategy to address ongoing labor shortages, support economic growth, and promote integration by providing established residents with smoother pathways to stay permanently. Transitioning temporary residents to permanent status, recognizing the skills and contributions of international students, temporary foreign workers, and other temporary residents. The 2025 to 2027 plan is expected to increase allocations for programs like the Canadian Experience Class under Express Entry. These programs prioritize individuals with Canadian work experience or education, which positions them well for quick integration into the workforce and society. By focusing on those already inside Canada, the plan supports essential sectors facing labor shortages, such as healthcare, technology, construction, and manufacturing. The In Canada focus ensures that these individuals can transition smoothly, filling critical roles without requiring additional settlement or orientation support. Express entry rounds of invitations in October 2024. How do draws for express entry operate? The express entry is a system used by the Canadian Immigration Department to handle skilled workers' applications for permanent residency. After creating an online profile, candidates are graded according to criteria such as education, work experience, and language proficiency. The top-scoring applicants are asked to apply for permanent residence. To be eligible for express entry, applicants must fulfill the prerequisites for one of the federal economic immigration programs. International students in Canada can now work 24 hours per week. Today, Mark Miller, the Minister of Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, has announced a new regulation allowing eligible international students in Canada to work up to 24 hours per week off-campus during academic terms. This new change is effective as of November 8, 2024, marking an increase from the previous 20-hour limit, providing students with more flexibility to balance work and studies. What the new regulation means. The updated rule is part of Canada's ongoing efforts to strengthen the integrity and functionality of the International Student Program. It offers international students the opportunity to gain additional work experience and financial support without compromising their primary objective of studying. Increased work hours. Students can now work up to 24 hours per week during regular academic terms if they are eligible to work off campus. Moving forward, international students must apply and be approved for a new study permit before changing DLI. Eligibility to work off campus. Not every international student in Canada is automatically eligible to work off campus. To ensure compliance with Canadian immigration laws, students and employers must confirm eligibility before starting employment. Who can work off campus? To work off campus without a work permit, students must be enrolled full-time at a designated learning institution, study in an eligible program, which includes post-secondary academic, vocational, or professional training programs, vocational training programs at the secondary level in Quebec, enroll in a program lasting at least 6 months and leading to a degree, diploma, or certificate, hold a valid study permit with conditions allowing off-campus work, obtain a social insurance number, SIN. Restrictions. Students are not allowed to work off campus if they are enrolled in English or French as a second language, ESL/FSL, programs, general interest courses, or preparatory courses. Their study permit explicitly prohibits off-campus work. They are on authorized leave or between institutions without active enrollment. Steps to start working. For international students eager to take advantage of this new rule, the following steps are essential. 1. Check study permit conditions. Ensure that your study permit states one of the following conditions. May work off campus or full-time during regular breaks. May accept employment on or off campus if meeting eligibility criteria. If your permit lacks these conditions, you can request an amendment to add them, free of charge. 2. Obtain a SIN. A social insurance number is mandatory to work in Canada. To apply for a SIN, students must present a valid study permit with the required work conditions. 3. Comply with hourly limits. Students must track their working hours to ensure compliance. During academic terms, work up to 24 hours per week. During scheduled breaks, work an unlimited number of hours, provided you are a full-time student before and after the break. Implications of violating work conditions. Exceeding the 24-hour limit during academic terms or working while ineligible can result in serious consequences. Loss of student status. Ineligibility for future immigration programs, including study or work permits. Potential removal from Canada. Students are responsible for maintaining accurate records of their working hours and demonstrating compliance with study permit conditions. Flexibility for self-employed students. Self-employed students must also adhere to the 24-hour weekly limit. Hours are calculated based on time spent earning wages, commissions, or performing services. Transitioning between institutions. The new regulations also require international students to obtain a new study permit before transferring between institutions. This measure aims to improve program integrity and accountability within the ISP. Working after graduation. Graduates have opportunities to work full-time under specific conditions. Post-graduation work permit. Students can work while awaiting a decision on their PGWPE application, provided they are eligible for off-campus work during their studies. Starting a new program. Students transitioning to a new study program can work full-time during the interim period, subject to specific conditions. To maintain the integrity of the ISP, designated learning institutions must report on the enrollment status of international students twice a year. Students who fail to meet enrollment requirements risk investigation and enforcement actions. This change aligns with Canada's commitment to supporting its diverse community of international students. By allowing up to 24 hours of work per week, students gain enhanced opportunities to fund their education, gain valuable Canadian work experience, and contribute to the economy. The flexibility to work full-time during academic breaks further enables students to maximize their earnings while adhering to immigration requirements. Can students work multiple jobs to reach the 24-hour limit? Yes, students can work multiple part-time jobs, as long as their total hours do not exceed 24 hours per week during academic terms. Are remote jobs counted under the 24-hour limit? Remote work for Canadian employers is included in the 24-hour weekly limit. However, work for employers outside Canada does not count. Can students work while waiting for a study permit extension? Yes, if they applied for an extension before the original permit expired and met all eligibility requirements. What happens if a student's enrollment status changes? Students who drop to part-time status or leave their program must cease off-campus work until they regain eligibility. Can students work full-time immediately after completing their program? Yes, students can work full-time if they apply for a work permit before their study permit expires or are transitioning to a new study program. Canada's decision to allow international students to work up to 24 hours per week off campus provides a welcome boost to students striving to achieve academic and financial success. By adhering to the updated regulations, international students can take full advantage of this opportunity while continuing their educational journey in Canada. Asylum claims by international students in Canada now at record high. There has been a dramatic surge in asylum claims by international students in Canada, setting a new record in 2024. According to new federal immigration data, international students submitted nearly 14,000 asylum claims between January and September 2024. This figure surpasses the total for 2023, which saw almost 12,000 claims, and marks a stark contrast to the 1,810 claims recorded in 2018. This has sparked intense scrutiny and raised questions about the integrity of Canada's immigration and asylum system, with Immigration Minister Mark Miller himself calling on the role of third-party immigration consultants in allegedly counselling students to file false claims. Most of this surge has resulted from loopholes in the system as well as an increase in temporary residents in Canada, and now it may increase further with Canada reducing the annual immigration targets. Alarming trends of asylum claims by international students in Canada. Concerned about the sharp rise in student asylum claims, Minister Miller labeled many of them as mostly false and driven by outside advice. It is quite obvious someone that's been here a year or more, claiming asylum where no conditions have changed in their home country. It doesn't smell good. It doesn't look good, Miller stated. He emphasized that the misuse of the asylum system undermines its purpose of protecting those genuinely in need. Reports suggest that unscrupulous immigration consultants are charging exorbitant fees, often exceeding $7,000, to assist students in filing asylum claims. In some cases, these consultants abandon their clients midway, leaving them in limbo. The alleged scheme exploits a loophole that grants work authorization to asylum seekers while their claims are processed, allowing some students to stay and work in Canada indefinitely. Key statistics: asylum claims by the numbers. From January to September 2024, the following institutions reported the highest number of asylum claims: Conestoga College, Kitchener, Ontario, 520 claims; Seneca College of Applied Arts and Technology, 490 claims; Niagara College Canada, 410 claims. The top source countries for these claims are India, Nigeria, Ghana, Guinea, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, highlighting a trend of students from specific regions seeking alternative pathways to remain in Canada. You may also like: asylum claims by Indians at Canadian airports surge by over 500%. Asylum claims by international students in Canada rise by 1,500%. Potential policy reforms. Observers and policymakers have proposed several measures to curb the misuse of the asylum system. Automatic disqualification for permit holders. Students on study or work permits could be barred from filing asylum claims if their existing permit is expiring within 3 to 4 months. Time-limited asylum filing, requiring asylum applications to be submitted within 24 hours of entering Canada, with late claims directed to points of entry, POs, for processing. Enhanced screening at POs, deploying officers to verify the legitimacy of asylum claims before granting entry. While these measures may increase administrative costs, proponents argue they would reinforce the integrity of Canada's immigration system and discourage misuse. Minister Miller's call for accountability. Minister Miller has formally requested the College of Immigration and Citizenship Consultants to investigate licensed consultants allegedly advising students to misrepresent themselves. In a letter addressed to SIC President John Murray, Miller highlighted that such actions could violate Section 12 of the Code of Professional Conduct for Licensees, which prohibits encouraging dishonesty or fraud. Excerpt from Minister Miller's letter. He wrote, "I would like to raise an important and concerning issue of which I am sure you are aware, the growing number of international students claiming asylum in Canada. I am concerned about reports that some of these students are being counseled by third parties to do so and to provide false information. Canada is dedicated to aiding individuals in need of protection. However, counseling asylum seekers to misrepresent themselves to remain in Canada or seek permanent residence would be contrary to the objectives of Canada's immigration system." The minister also urged the SIC to partner with Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada to address the issue and remind licensees of their ethical obligations. Broader implications: housing and social services strain. The surge in temporary residents, including international students, has fueled broader debates about their impact on Canada's housing market and social services. Critics argue that increased asylum claims add to these pressures, straining resources meant for genuine refugees and vulnerable populations. Students filing false claims are not just gaming the system, they're adding to the challenges faced by local communities, said a spokesperson for a Canadian immigration watchdog. Public opinion on the issue is divided. While many sympathize with the plight of international students facing uncertain futures, others demand stricter controls to prevent abuse of the asylum system. Advocacy groups have also highlighted the need for improved transparency and oversight in the role of immigration consultants, safeguarding the integrity of Canada's immigration system. As the federal government grapples with this unprecedented rise in these claims, Minister Miller has emphasized the importance of protecting the integrity of Canada's immigration and asylum systems. With potential reforms on the horizon and investigations underway, the coming months could see significant changes aimed at addressing the issue. For now, the record-breaking asylum claims underscore the urgent need for a balanced approach that safeguards Canada's humanitarian commitments while preventing the exploitation of its immigration pathways. Canada Post strike, workers now on strike as of November 15. Canada Post strike update. In a significant disruption just ahead of the busiest season of the year, over 55,000 Canadian postal workers commenced a nationwide strike early Friday morning. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers confirmed the strike began at 12:01 a.m. ET, following a prolonged year of negotiations with Canada Post that have yet to yield an agreement. The union attributes this drastic measure to a last-resort effort to address long-standing issues affecting worker conditions, job security, and wages. Why the strike? The key issues in focus. According to a CUP statement, the union has spent months in bargaining sessions with Canada Post, advocating for what it calls reasonable demands such as fair wages, safe working conditions, enhanced retirement benefits, and expanded public postal services. However, negotiations have hit repeated roadblocks, and CUP claims that Canada Post's latest contract offer failed to meet these essential needs. Canada Post had the opportunity to prevent this strike, but it has refused to negotiate real solutions to the issues postal workers face every day, CUP representative stated, pointing to unresolved tensions around wages, pension benefits, and safety in workplace conditions. Key points of contention between the union and Canada Post include wages and benefits. Canada Post's contract proposal included an 11.5% wage increase over 4 years, with continued pension protection for current employees. However, CUP believes this offer does not adequately address inflation concerns, health and retirement benefits, or job security. Safety standards. CUP has underscored the need for improved safety measures, especially for rural postal workers who face unique risks. Job security. The union demands assurances that workers won't face layoffs, particularly given recent operational changes at Canada Post. The timing and broader impact. Black Friday and holiday season concerns. The strike's timing is particularly critical as it precedes Black Friday and the upcoming holiday season, both crucial periods for Canada Post. Millions of Canadians rely on postal services for holiday shipments, gift deliveries, and seasonal greetings, and a strike at this time will inevitably lead to disruptions. Canada Post, which had warned of potential delays, said it will attempt to minimize the strike's impact but admits that some service interruptions are likely. Canada Post strike-affected areas. Given the nationwide scale, areas across all Canadian provinces and territories will feel the strike's effects. However, it remains unclear if some regions will be prioritized for essential mail delivery or if rotating strikes may be implemented to stagger service disruptions. Government and union efforts to reach a last-minute resolution. Ahead of the strike, Federal Labour Minister Stephen McKinnon confirmed that government mediators were actively involved in supporting negotiations. McKinnon shared on social media that a special mediator had been appointed, a rare intervention that signals the government's recognition of the strike's potential impact on Canadian society and the economy. In a post on Thursday evening, McKinnon wrote, "We are making sure that these two groups have everything they need to reach a deal, showing the government's strong stance on keeping the lines of communication open." However, as negotiations reached a standstill, CUP proceeded with its strike action, citing no choice but to escalate the dispute. Alternative delivery solutions amid the strike. The strike's nationwide scope has led many Canadians and businesses to explore alternatives to Canada Post for their shipping needs. With concerns over delays and missed deliveries, alternative carriers such as UPS, FedEx, and private courier companies are expected to experience a surge in demand. The CUP strike may also prompt customers to rely more on digital options, particularly for time-sensitive documents or gift deliveries. However, even these alternatives may face challenges, as Teamsters Canada, representing workers at Purolator, has declared that its members will not handle any packages originating from Canada Post during the strike. Teamsters Canada spokesperson Christopher Monette stated the organization's full support for CUP, emphasizing the union's commitment to good union jobs as essential pillars of Canadian society. What is a rotating strike? Understanding the strategy behind the CUP's actions. Rotating strikes are a common tactic in large labor actions, designed to maximize pressure on employers while limiting the immediate disruption for customers. CUP may employ this method to stagger service interruptions by location, allowing workers in different areas to strike on alternate days or weeks. This approach enables the union to draw attention to its demands while preventing complete shutdowns of essential services. However, the extent to which CUP will use rotating strikes as part of its strategy remains uncertain. Looking ahead, what's next for Canadians? As the Canada Post strike unfolds, millions of Canadians are bracing for disruptions. The government, union representatives, and Canada Post management are expected to continue discussions, but a swift resolution appears unlikely given the long-standing nature of these disputes. Meanwhile, individuals and businesses may face delays in mail delivery, prompting many to explore temporary alternatives. For up-to-date information on the strike, Canadians can follow CUP's social media updates and check Canada Post's official website for announcements on affected areas, rotating strike schedules, and available services. Additionally, further updates on mediation efforts are expected in the coming days, as both parties grapple with finding common ground in time for the holiday season. In the interim, Canadians relying on postal services for essential shipments should consider early planning and alternative options where possible to mitigate potential delays. As Canada continues to navigate its evolving immigration policies, the impacts of these changes are being felt across various sectors, from labor markets to educational institutions. The adjustments in express entry draw, work permit regulations, and asylum claims signal a larger transformation within the system, aiming to support economic growth while ensuring fairness and integrity. As the situation develops, it will be essential to monitor how these policies affect both current and future applicants, ensuring that Canada remains a destination of choice for skilled workers and students alike. That is all for today. In this video, what are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully, the information is useful to you. See you later, in the next video. Till then, take care.